Hey guys, this is our second video, and in this video we are going to talk about variables. So at first I want to thank you for watching us, and of course subscribe to our channel to get the new videos and keep the notifications on. So what is a variable? A variable is a property of an object or event that can take on different values. Anything can be a variable. For example, hair color is a variable because it is a property of an object, hair, and can take on different values. For example, it can be brown, yellow, red, gray, etc. Variables are just things that can change. They might vary between people, locations, or even time. Moving out to our next topic, we are going to talk about independent or dependent variables. So basically, this study is about the independent variables, and the result of the study are the dependent variables. A variable that we think is a cause is known as an independent variable because its value does not depend on any other variables. Dependent variable is a variable thought to be affected by changes in an independent variable. You can think of this variable as an outcome. Moving on to our next topic, predictor or outcome variable. Predictor variable is a variable thought to predict an outcome variable. This is basically another term for independent variable. On the other hand, outcome variable is a variable thought to change as a function of changes in a predictor variable. So you might think it as a dependent variable. Now we are going to talk about the level of measurements. The relationship between what is being measured and the numbers that represent what is being measured is known as the level of measurement. Broadly speaking, variables can be categorical or continuous and can have different levels of measurement. We can make a distinction between discrete variables such as gender or high school class, which take on only a limited number of values. Continuous variables such as age and self-esteem score, which can assume, at least in theory, any value between the lowest and the highest points on the scale. Closely related to the distinction between discrete and continuous variables is the distinction between quantitative and categorical data. By quantitative data, sometimes called measurement data, we mean the result of any sort of measurement. For example, grades on a test, people's weights, scores on a scale of self-esteem, and so on. In all cases, some sort of instrument, in its broadest sense, has been used to measure something, and we are interested in how much of some property a particular object represents. On the other hand, categorical data, also known as frequency data or qualitative, are illustrated in such a statement as there are 34 females and 26 males in our study, or 15 people were classed as highly anxious, 33 as neutral, and 12 as low anxious. Now we are going to talk about categorical variables. A categorical variable is made of categories. A categorical variable that you should be familiar with already is your species, for example human and etc. You are a human or a cat or a fruit bat. You cannot be a bit of a cat and a bit of a bat. And neither a Batman nor a Catwoman exists. A categorical variable is one that names distinct entities. In its simplest form, it names just two distinct types of things, for example, alive or dead, pregnant or not, responding yes or no to a question. This is known as a binary variable. In all cases, there are just two categories, and an entity can be placed into only one of the categories. When two things that are equivalent in some sense are given the same name or number, but there are more than two possibilities, the variable is said to be a nominal variable. It should be obvious that if the variable is made up of names, it is pointless to do arithmetic on them. However, sometimes numbers are used to denote categories. For example, the numbers worn by players in a rugby or football team. When categories are ordered, the variable is known as an ordinal variable. Ordinal data tell us not only that things have occurred, but also the order in which they occurred. However, these data tell us nothing about the differences between values. So, ordinal data therefore tell us more than the nominal data. They tell us the order in which things happened, but they still do not tell us about the differences between points on a scale. Now we are going to talk about continuous variables. The next level of measurement moves us away from the categorical variables and into continuous variables. A continuous variable is one that gives us a score for each person and take on any value on the measurement scale that we are using. The first type of the continuous variable that you may encounter is an interval variable. To say that data are interval, we must be certain that equal intervals on the scale represent equal differences in the property being measured. For example, on ratemapprofessors.com, students are encouraged to rate their lecturers on several dimensions. Each dimension is evaluated using a 5-point scale. For this scale to be interval, it must be the case that the difference between helpfulness ratings of 1 and 2 is the same as the difference between, say, 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. Similarly, the difference in helpfulness between ratings of 1 and 3 should be identical to the difference between ratings 3 and 5. Variables like this that look interval and are treated as interval are often ordinal. Ratio variables go a step further than the interval data by requiring that in addition to the measurement scale meeting the requirements of an interval variable, the ratios of values along the scale should be meaningful. For this to be true, the scale must have a true and meaningful 0 point. Continuous variables can be continuous, obviously, but also discrete. This is quite a tricky distinction. A truly continuous variable can be measured to any level of precision, whereas a discrete variable can take on only certain values, usually whole numbers on the scale. What does this actually mean? Our example in the text of rating lectures on a 5-point scale is an example of discrete variable. You cannot enter a value of 4.32 or 2.18. Although a continuum exists underneath the scale, the actual values that the variable takes are limited. A continuous variable would be something like age, which can be measured at infinite level of precision. You could be 34 years, 7 months, 21 days, 10 hours, 55 minutes, 10 seconds, and etc. Moving on to our next topic, scales. So we talked about this a lot, but for the importance of the topic, I'm going to review it very quickly. In a sense, nominal scales are not really scales at all. They do not scale items along any dimension, but rather label them. Variables such as gender and political party affiliation are nominal variables. Categorical data are usually measured on a nominal scale because we merely assign category labels, for example, male, female, Republican, Democrat, to observations. A numerical example is the set of numbers assigned to football players. Frequently, these numbers have no meaning other than as convenient labels to distinguish these players from one another. Letters or pictures of animals could just as easily be used. Now, ordinal scales. The simplest true scale is an ordinal scale, which orders people, objects, or events along some continuum. An excellent example of such a scale is the ranks in the Navy or scales of life stress. Now, interval scales. With an interval scale, we have a measurement scale in which we can legitimately speak of differences between scale points. A common example is the Fahrenheit scale of temperature, where a 10-point difference has the same meaning anywhere along the scale. Notice that this scale also satisfies the properties of 2 preceding ones. What we do not have with an interval scale, however, is the ability to speak meaningfully about the ratios. We cannot say, for example, that 40 degrees of Fahrenheit is half as hot as 80 degrees of Fahrenheit, or twice as hot as 20 degrees of Fahrenheit. We have to use ratio scales for that purpose. In this regard, it is worth noting that when we perform perfectly legitimate conversions from one interval scale to another, for example from the Fahrenheit to the Celsius scale of temperature, we do not even keep the same ratios. Now moving on to ratio scales. A ratio scale is one that has a true 0 point. Notice that the 0 point must be a true 0 point. A true 0 point is the point corresponding to the absence of the thing being measured. Since 0 degrees of Fahrenheit and 0 degrees of Celsius do not represent the absence of the temperature or molecular motion, they are not true 0 points. Examples of the ratio scales are the common physical ones of length, volume, time, and so on. With these scales, we have the properties of not only the preceding scales, but we also can speak about the ratios. We can say that in physical terms, 10 seconds is twice as long as 5 seconds. We can say that in physical terms, 10 seconds is twice as long as 5 seconds. That 100 pounds is 1/3 as heavy as 300 pounds, and so on. Now I'm going to overview some of the things I just said. So as I just said, the variables can be continuous or categorical. Categorical can be binary, nominal, or ordinal. But the continuous variable can be interval variables or ratio variables. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you like the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and keep the notifications on. All the things that I have been using are from these two books, and I would recommend them to use them because they are very helpful. The first one is the Statistical Methods for Psychology by David Howell, and the second one is Discovering Statistics using IBM SPSS Statistics by Andy Field. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and keep the notifications on. Thanks everyone.